Over the centuries, river valleys have been the cradle of human civilizations as human beings settled along major rivers of the world. History has proven that people prefer to reside in places that are favorable for survival. In this case, it has been the easy availability of water among other things. Therefore, you will notice that the human population is unevenly distributed across the globe. Some regions are more densely populated than others. The number of people living in a unit area of the Earth's surface determines the population density of a place. Factors such as geography of an area, as also the social, cultural, and economic relevance determine how the population is distributed globally. Let's take a closer look at these factors. Let us first look at the geographical factors that affect people's decision to settle in an area. It is a known fact that people find it difficult to live in mountainous areas and on plateaus. Plains, on the other hand, are ideal for farming, constructing houses, and factories. Hence, people prefer to settle on the plains. People also prefer to not live in places with extreme climates, that is, places which are either too hot or too cold. For example, you will find fewer people living in the hot and dry Sahara Desert. Over the years, people have chosen to settle near major rivers all around the world. Besides the easy availability of water, the high fertility of soil supports a good yield of crops, thus attracting large number of settlers to these regions. A good example is the Indo-Gangetic Plain that largely covers the northern and eastern parts of India. This region is drained by the multiple rivers like the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. People also tend to reside around areas where important minerals and petroleum are found. For example, in Africa and the Middle East Asian countries. This is evident when we see the high population density in West Africa. One of the reasons responsible for this is the location of petroleum reserves in countries like Nigeria. Next, let us look at some of the social factors that affect population distribution. While deciding to settle in a place, people see the availability of good houses, educational institutions, good healthcare facilities, and other infrastructure like transport, proximity to markets, etc. Culture and religion play an important part in people's life. Throughout the history of mankind, people have settled around places of cultural and religious importance. An important religious as well as cultural center of India is the ancient city of Varanasi, an old, bustling town that has a dense population as both residential and commercial centers have thrived around the shrines of this place. Economic growth is one of the most important factors that affect the distribution of settlements in modern times. Industrialized cities offer many opportunities and as a consequence, a promise of a better lifestyle. Jamshedpur in Jharkhand is a classic example where a huge township has bloomed around an iron and steel plant. Thus, we can conclude that multiple factors are responsible for the uneven distribution of population across the world. Think about this and discuss. Assume country A and country B are two countries. Mr. X is a citizen of country A and he is migrating to country B for permanent residence. When people move from one country to another for taking permanent or semi-permanent residence, it is called migration. The person who leaves a country to reside in another country is called an emigrant. When Mr. X moves out of country A, he becomes an emigrant for country A. The person who enters a country to reside in it is called an immigrant. When Mr. X moves to country B, he becomes an immigrant for country B. This movement of people from one country to another affects the population of the country. If a large number of people move out of a country, the population of the country from where people are moving out decreases. If a large number of people enter a given country, the population of that country increases. It is observed that people generally move from a developing or an underdeveloped country to a developed country for better employment opportunities, better facilities, and a higher standard of living.
Hello, I am a census data collection officer. I'm one of the officers involved in the process of collecting information about the population in our country. Officers like me collect data by visiting individual households and asking questions such as the number of members in the household, their age, gender, occupation, etc. With the help of the data we collect, we create a population pyramid. The population pyramid shows the percentage of males and females in the country, along with their age groups. So, it is also known as the age-sex pyramid. This pyramid is a bar graph. Let us learn how to read a bar graph. The numbers to the left of the graph give us the different age groups. The numbers at the bottom of the bar graph give us the percentage of males and females in each age group. The bars on the left represent the male population, while the bars on the right represent the female population. Each bar represents the total number of males or females in that age group. Take for example this bar. It represents the percentage of females within the age group of 10 and 14 years. So, 6% of the females in the entire population belong to this age group. Besides telling us about the age-sex ratio, the population pyramid is useful as it gives an idea about the birth rate and death rate of a country. The broad base of the pyramid indicates that the birth rate is high, while the tapering top in the pyramid indicates a high death rate, as fewer people survive until old age. Now, let us focus on the blue lines on the population pyramid. You will notice that they divide the pyramid into 3 sections. The top section represents the elderly, while the bottom section represents the young population of the country. Thus, collectively, the top and bottom sections represent the dependent population. The section in the middle represents the economically active or the working population. In this way, the bar graph helps to analyze the age-sex ratio of the population, the birth and death rate, and the future economic trends of the country. The population pyramids of different countries do not look alike. Let's analyze another population bar graph. The base of this population pyramid is not very broad. This indicates a comparatively low birth rate. If we compare this pyramid with the earlier pyramid, we can understand a few more population trends. Let's name the two, Pyramid A and Pyramid B, for ease of comparison. In Pyramid B, as the birth rate is high, it implies that in future the country will have a larger supply of people who will join the workforce. In contrast, in Pyramid A, you will notice that the birth rate is low. This means that fewer people will enter the workforce. At the same time, the death rate is lower in Pyramid A, so that will mean a larger dependent population in years to come. Thus, Pyramid B predicts a better economic future for the country. Each pyramid predicts a better economic future.